Yesterday's show, as most Village Vices are, was 100% Auburn. And yet, Zach, the number of Alabama fans that came into the comments to try and rain on the optimism and the enthusiasm was a little surprising,
Sure.
B, awfully weird, and just weird, and then C, further proof that barn derangement syndrome is on the rise. The closer we get to kickoff,
Yeah.
the more you're seeing barn derangement syndrome. Did you get a sense of that in Atlanta? I mean, you were right in the thick of the Auburn presence there.
No, I didn't. And like the Bama media that I've become friends with them. So, that's I
Well, we're
think you're a
all
little isolated from it when you're at media days. I think it's kind of the external,
Mhm.
everybody like either trying to get their voice heard, like throwing it towards media days or, all those eyeballs. I mean, I've posted a bunch of stuff, social media, videos, podcasts, whatever. And it does seem like I've gotten more Bama commenters in the last week and a half than I have in a minute.
And it's as if
Anecdotally.
and again, I'm not sure what the mission is. I'm not sure what the objective is. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that we're going to read comments or other Auburn fans are going to listen to you and go, "Oh yeah, no, you're right. I shouldn't be optimistic. I shouldn't spend July and August being excited about the start of the
Yeah.
like what do you think is going to be the result of this?"
Yeah. I mean, especially you and I hopped on Village Vice shortly after, Auburn stuff got done and wrapped up yesterday.
Mhm.
And we both agreed like the overarching comment of Hugh Freeze over and over and over again was Auburn football, the expectations for them to be in the playoff discussion at the end of the year. And Bama folks have really grabbed onto that,
Yeah.
both in YouTube comments, on Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff. So it's interesting. To go back to your question about like what's the goal? I'm not sure. I mean, I think you could paint a few different things. Like the total like boog barn answer is, oh, they're like afraid of what Auburn's about to do. I don't think that's it
I think there's a
personally.
little of that. Yeah.
It could be, Brad, but like if I had to guess, I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
I think the average Bama fan would tell you now, whether if it's true or not, I don't know, but I think they would tell you that maybe they feel like they smell blood. Maybe they feel like they're in this, superior situation where, they've seen Hugh Freeze be the punching bag because of the golf stuff and Freeze and Cohen's comments publicly about how Auburn's approaching the rev share situation. Like
Yeah.
it's been a tough 2 or 3 weeks for Auburn. I mean, Auburn's been a punching bag. And so this could be a thing where they would say like they smell blood, they want to kick you while they're down, and that I think that's what the average Bama fan that's wasting time throughout their day commenting on Auburn content. I think that's probably what they would say.
And we welcome it, and we know that's not saying we welcome it or want it or don't won't stop it. I like it's coming. I get it. It's fine.
No, it helps
But
the channel. So
it
please do
does.
it.
And
Please do
there's
it.
no question. So
Yeah.
appreciate that. But it leads me into I'm so glad that you mentioned that Auburn has been a punching bag the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm always so today, a little bit of context. Today is day 3 of media days. Alabama is one of 4 schools there, not so you'd really notice it, because media days since its inception has been about giving Alabama an advantage in the media. It's been the Alabama media machine turning its wheels and doing what it does. It's been that way, Zach, since before this. But like
Well,
I was relayed a story yesterday about 1993
okay.
when Gene Stallings was coming off of a national title year. And the first question asked to him by a member of the Alabama media machine was, and I quote, "Coach, what makes you so good?" Name another. That's not hyperbole. That's not me making something up. That's like, what other coach, what other, that doesn't happen in another setting. And so
Yeah.
I'll stop there and let you jump in, but I want to go down this road a little ways because I think this is a yarn worth or a thread worth pulling.
Yeah, like, and part of me wants to say that this is just because he put his hand up first, or like, I'm hoping and there does seem to be an element of randomness to it.
Yeah.
But also, like, the guy who calls on the media members in the main room, like, he often says their first name because it's the same people that ask questions. And like Hugh Freeze's first question being asked by a Bama person is kind of wild to me when
Yeah.
I see other Auburn people like with their hands raised.
Yeah.
So like I'm hoping there's just randomness to it, but like, I mean, you pointing this stuff out is like, I wasn't able to tune into Kalen's thing. Was his
Yeah.
first question from an Auburn writer?
No,
Yeah, I'm
it
gonna
was
assume
not.
not. I'm gonna assume like that. I
No.
just feel like that would never happen. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm 100% in the boat with you, but there are several things you could point to where I'm like, I don't think that would happen the other way around.
I got a lot of them today, and I do want to pull this thread a little bit because, and I want to preface it by saying this: both Bruce Pearl and Butch Thompson, when they took over, were given flat out reasons why they could not succeed in their roles at Auburn. Remember, Bruce Pearl was told, or people were told, maybe not Bruce was told directly, but the fan base was asked by the Alabama media machine to believe that Bruce Pearl couldn't succeed at Auburn because Auburn had Under Armour at the time, and you couldn't recruit successfully to an Under Armour school. Bruce took that head on. He clearly has recruited at an elite level, performed at an elite level, say no more. Butch Thompson was told you can't recruit to Auburn, you can't win at Auburn because there's no state lottery. And everybody else has an advantage because of the lottery. Well, again, case closed. He has succeeded at levels we haven't seen before at Auburn. So when I say that Hugh Freeze and any Auburn football coach faces a much tougher uphill, upstream battle than the opposing coach in the state, I'm not saying as a way to excuse poor performance. I'm not saying standards should be any different. But I am pointing out that there is an inherent advantage in a few miles up the road. And we see that on display in a lot of different ways. Zach, I listened to a Birmingham radio station interview the Alabama head coach this morning. This is in the category of things that would never happen the other way around.
Okay.
And here's the verbatim question, as it was asked to the Alabama head coach. Coach is an Alabama alum and former player, and gosh, just as a dad, you just want it so bad for Ty Simpson. Talk about him and blah, blah, blah. If they had Hugh Freeze on yesterday, and I don't know if Hugh was available to him during that window or not, but I just wonder if the Auburn host on that same show would have opened his question like this. Coach, as an alum, as a former player, and gosh, just as a dad, you want it so bad for Jackson Arnold. Let's just talk about him and things that would never happen the other way around. Hey, Zach, just this show, until the last few years, just talking about this and bringing this out into the open wouldn't have had a chance to happen. So I don't know. There's just no, like, we're not talking about whether or not an inherent advantage exists. We're just talking about how now Hugh Freeze in year 3 is going to try to do what those other coaches we mentioned were able to begin to show, and that is some turning against that objectively present inherent disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, it does definitely seem like, I mean, Auburn media has several Auburn alums part of it. And it's got several folks that, aren't Auburn alums and they just took the job, and a lot of them are really good at what they do. I remember sitting in like the press box for the 2017 Iron Bowl. and I was sitting next to an Alabama outlet. I'm not going to say which one, but it was two guys, and like they were fans, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a drive where I don't remember if it was Bo Scarborough or Damian Harris, or I don't remember. They were like, Auburn couldn't stop the run for a chunk there, and they went all the way down the field or whatever. And they're like, do that all game, all game, all game, all game. And I'm like, this is a professional like press box. What are you doing? And like Auburn didn't have that. Like, I think there are people that genuinely want Auburn to succeed, but they just don't behave that way when they're doing their job, because that's, the professional way to go about it. So, and I'm not saying all Alabama outlets are like that, but there are more Alabama outlets like that than Auburn outlets, which I think is, and even the outlets that are labeled as like fan channels or whatever, like, what I do with Locked On, or, Mike G and the guys at the War Report, or, Kyle went and represented the barn a few times in the box this past year. Like, even the folks who are labeled as like these fan guys who like stumbled their way in by, legacy media standards, which I could go on that all day, but they still know how to act, right? Like, they still act professionally because, that's what you do. So if that was the other way around and you had an Auburn outlet in the press box at Bryant-Denny cheering, can you imagine that? That'd be crazy.
Oh, it would get tweeted about, and articles would be written about it, and there would be demand, and there would be people who tried to shame them.
It would be insane.
Yeah, no question. So again, this isn't, look, we're not trying to throw shade. This isn't shade for the sake of shade. This is just, we're talking about what we're observing. These are pretty undeniable these are certifiable, which is a pretty good choice of words, I think. All right. I thought the Alabama head coach had an interesting answer to some of the questions.
Oh, no. You unplugged your microphone. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Roback, RHOBACK, Roback.com. Use promo code VICE20 to get 20% off your order. They've got the best polos in the game. They've got hats. They've got collared shirts. They've got quarter zips. They've got it all over at Roback.com. And look, like, don't let game day get here before you have, a repertoire, an arsenal of revamped Auburn wardrobe. You can get all that over at Roback.com. Use promo code VICE20.
Yep. See, when you start talking, the machine doesn't like it, and the machine fires back sometimes against your technology. So
it seems legit to me. I don't know.
Sure. The questions he was asked today. Question number one was kind of a weird first question. It was about, does the SEC need to win a national championship this year, whether it's like no matter who the team is, because the Big Ten has won 2 in a row, which I thought was a weird question to ask a guy who's going into his second year in the league rather than a veteran of the SEC. But whatever. That was the first question. In contrast to what you mentioned earlier in the show, the first question to freeze yesterday was from an Alabama media person. He was asked about an 8 or 9 game schedule. Total softball from an Alabama media member. He was not asked.
An Alabama guy got to ask the Alabama coach the first question?
No. Ask him the second question. It was a national guy who asked the first question.
Okay, got it.
But it was the Alabama guy asked about an 8 or 9 game schedule. Whatever. Like, you could ask that to anybody. But I thought this was
real quick, because like when you talk about the first question at SEC Media Days, like this is a new thing, because Bob Holt always asked the first question. And the SEC did a really cool thing, Brad. I don't know if you saw it, if they took pictures, but where around he would normally sit, because it'd always be like, if you're looking into the crowd, he was always kind of to the left, a few rows in. And they like reserved a seat, and they had his picture, and like that. I never met Bob, but like you always knew that he got the first question. And so this is like a new thing where we're talking about, and not the only example that we've given, but I don't think you could talk about the first question at SEC Media Days without mentioning that. So
it's the Bob Holt Memorial first question.
Yeah, 100%.
I never had a one-on-one conversation with Bob, but the man radiated joy. Just like one of these people, you could see joy coming 500 feet away when he.
I didn't want to be disrespectful to Bob with us talking about this. So just wanted to mention that real quick. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So an answer that, and I'm breaking this down to make a comparison. All right. And because, again, it's their day at media days. And they're, I think, the only team that Auburn plays that's at media days today. I guess, I don't know who, Florida's there. Mississippi State's there. I don't know who else is there. Anyway, it's Auburn's rival. Get over it if you have a problem. But he was asked point blank.
I think Oklahoma's today, so we play Oklahoma.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we will talk about that, I guess, maybe a little later in the week.
Maybe.
He was asked, did last year's team meet the Bama standard? His answer to this was fascinating to me. And the response to it is another example of what we talked about for the first 10 minutes. Because, anyway, his answer was, well, I mean, in the sense of what? Like, he asked for clarification as if he didn't understand the question the first time. It was Harson-esque. But so he asked for clarification, and then he got clarification. And he was like, well, in the sense that we didn't make the playoff, no. So is that the... And then he went on to talk about how being in the playoff and having a shot at a national championship was the standard, which is, oh, by the way, exactly what Hugh Freeze said yesterday.
Sure.
And so they gave very similar answers. I'm surprised there's not more pushback to that answer, because we've been told for the last 20 years that there's a different standard. Every coach is going to get up there. And Clark Lee got up and talked about the playoff. Diego Pavia talked about the playoff. Everybody's going to talk about making the playoff. I've been told it was different over there. Is it not different anymore? I mean, the playoff, like, I think that's reasonable. Is it not different there anymore? Is that what's happened?
Interesting.
I just want to know so we know how to talk about it.
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know in the comments down below.
Okay. All right. That was really about the only interesting thing that I took from the Q&A. There wasn't a lot. I thought it was noteworthy that he was not asked about NIL, rev share. Like, I thought it was telling. They've had such great recruiting success to this point.
You think he would want their opinion on it? Yeah.
Yeah, you would think so.
Kirby was asked about it right after he lost. Like, he lost a recruit to Sark, like, while he was up there.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, like, you just got to, like, be strategic, out navigate your opponent. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Well, and I thought Sarkisian's answer was telling too. Sarkisian's answer was, you got to do whatever it takes to win. That was the essence of his answer. Got to do whatever it takes to win.
That's
and
the right
nobody
answer,
batted an eye. It goes back to what we talked about yesterday.
I think of all of it, like, doing whatever it takes to win is the correct answer. Now, are all the rules in place for, like, okay, are we able to navigate in the same field and, like, then do whatever we can to win? I don't know. Are they truly just gonna let you do whatever it takes to win? That's the question. And none of these coaches or Sankey can answer that question. That's above all of this.
Yeah. Right. No, it becomes like driving down the road. Like, what's the speed limit? Go as fast as you can. Well, no, that's not the right answer. Go as fast as you can legally. But if nobody enforces the speed limit, then there is no speed limit. And going the posted speed limit doesn't really do any good unless they're writing tickets for going above the posted speed limit. So,
right.
All right. Speaking of limits, if there was one change I could make to SEC Media Days, only one, I think I've landed on what it would be. And I would love to get yours too, having been there for the week up until today.
Okay.
I would put a cap on what these coaches can do in their opening statement. We're having too many coaches going 11 minutes, 15 minutes, 8 minutes. You don't need 8 minutes to make an opening statement at Media Days. Let's make it like the Oscars or the Emmys. If you go beyond about 5 minutes, you're going to have a yellow light. If you go beyond 6, you get music to play off. And you're done, and we're going to open it up for questions for the rest of the time. These are pointless, meandering, 15-minute opening statements. We do not need them.
I'd be okay with no opening statement at all. Like, this is a press conference. Like, just go up there and answer questions. You're introduced, the pomp and circumstance leading up to it's awesome. Assuming they play your right song, your school's fight song correctly. When they go up there,
Sure.
you're introduced and, Sankey reads his thing and all that. And then boom, that's it. Thank you, Commissioner. Always a pleasure to be here. We're excited for the season. Questions like that. That should be it. Because these people, like these media members, Atlanta's a little different for like the Auburn point of view because it's so close. But most of the conference, like they've spent a lot of money to travel and stay at these places and time away from their families. If you're only going to give them 35 minutes or whatever it is for the main stage stuff, like give them 35 minutes. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah. I agree. And these coaches are absolutely, undeniably inflating the opening statement so that they can reduce the number of questions. Like that's
For
clearly
sure. And
happening.
like Hugh Freeze might have the most
Everybody
famous
knows it.
example of all.
Yeah.
I mean, Hugh Freeze,
right.
when he was at Ole Miss after all the the scandal stuff happened, like he just got up there and like he was at the end of it, he just read the roster. I think he only got like one question.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, you're not doing, which again goes back maybe to the question, what's the whole point of this anyway? If it's just for TV, then, and if we just want to admit that it's just for TV, fine. But if you're actually there to give people opportunities to ask questions that don't normally get an opportunity to ask questions to the coaches, because your local media get that opportunity, then let's end the filibuster. Let's give them, I'll meet you in the middle. Let's go 3 minutes tops. 2 minutes, you get your warning light.
Yeah.
At 2.5, it starts flashing, and at 3, you're done. We're going to cut it off and do questions.
You go over 3, you lose 5 scholarships.
Yeah. Or you get an actual person rather than algorithm to approve or close down your NIL pitches. And
Oh,
they're from
yeah.
your rival. They're from your rival.
Yep.
So that's day 3 at Media Days.
What would I do differently? I think I would, if there was some sort of system, like a voting system to where some players, I mentioned this yesterday, like the way the main room is set up, when the coaches go, they speak from the podium or whatever. And then when it's the players window, there's 3 smaller areas where there's like a media scrum around them. And for the larger name players, like it doesn't make sense. Diego Pavia, it didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Arnold, it didn't make sense. I wasn't in the room for Arch, but I assume it was ridiculous for Arch. Put them on the main stage. I think you should have an option where the media, if enough media members request that, or like just use common sense, like put them on the main stage. I think that would be more beneficial for everyone.
I like it. What about you? What about you watching today? What do our villagers think? If you could make one change to Media Days, what would it be? We'll put our list together, send it to Greg.
I'm sure Greg's a supporter of Village Vice.
That's a good point. He's probably watching. So, all right. That's all I have today. Yeah, we are Reed Hughes.
I've got another rule. I've got another rule.
Yeah. Okay.
Just don't put it in the College Football Hall of Fame ever again. It's just not set up for it. It just doesn't make sense.
I notice you're not there now. That's a very familiar looking background.
Auburn went. I woke up Wednesday morning and I'm like, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home. Like, this isn't worth being away from my girls. It's just not worth it. So
yeah.
I'm going to go home.
So you like this, like you like the Winfrey better? You like Birmingham better?
Yeah.
It's smaller. Yes. It's not as spread out.
So I did like Birmingham better. I don't think Birmingham in that venue could host it anymore. It's gotten too big.
Okay.
And I'm fine with the size of it. Like, I'm not like saying that I'm not gatekeep. I hate gatekeeping in the media. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
But I think it's too big for the College Football Hall of Fame. Like, there's not enough. If you're going to have like the electronic media room and ESPN gets their own room and Fox gets their own room and Sirius XM gets their own room and all that stuff, like the venue and look, you need specific venues to host an event like this. I'm not criticizing the Hall of Fame. I just don't think it's built for it because, like, they did a better job this time in Atlanta than the previous time in Atlanta because you used to have to, like, leave other than the main stage. If you wanted anything else, you'd have to leave, even, like, to get food and stuff. You'd have to, like, go to the Omni next door, which is more difficult to navigate than the Haley Center is on campus. I mean, it's just a total maze.
Yeah.
They did a better job of moving more stuff over, which is good. But the whole time, everybody's just like, man, it was better in Nashville. Man, it was better in Dallas. So there's just got, like, I'm sure it's cool to have it in the College Football Hall of Fame. Like, that's fun.
Yeah.
Neat. Just don't think this is the event for it.
I have a great idea. Just came to me.
Okay.
Okay. And it's something familiar for a lot of the people who are there in droves, and especially today. I think it would be appropriate for them to make the decision and the announcement that next year, because it's still up for debate next year. It's still, like, they haven't released yet where it's going to be.
There's a few heavy rumors.
So many Alabama fans go to media days. I think next year this place has the scope. It's got the size that you need. You have it at the Talladega Super Speedway.
That does it for today's show.
At Talladega.
That does it for today's show.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it very much. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Remember, until next time, everyone has vices. Everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.